Welcome back, my gardening friends, to the jobs for October, and one of those will be to drop all the sunflowers onto the floor like we did last year and let everyone have a big feast on those before the autumn and winter sets in. This is the other giant cabbage. They didn't do overly well this year, and I only managed halfway to my personal best, to 16 kilograms last year to 8 this. But what a growing season it's been with everything else that's been going on. So we'll get the sunflowers all sorted and get this tidied up, leave everything that's still flowering for our pollinators, and we'll keep an eye on these apples. They're still doing quite well. That's the one that I keep grabbing hold of, but there's lots more, one or two with a few holes, so I might take that one next. But oh yeah, it's broke off. Just have to give it a little twist, and if it comes, it comes. So I'll add that to the vegetable and fruit harvest. One or two strawberries, not many now. The birds aren't too bothered with them. I won't be touching the comfrey. We'll let that die back naturally. We mustn't keep harvesting things till there's nothing left, else it can't get the nutrients from the atmosphere to take back down, even though these could go down 2 or 3 meters. That's why we have to be careful that they don't escape. Leaf molds sink in nicely. We'll put the remaining that's in that little corner from 2019 into there. The very fine siftings of the leaf mold are in there, ready to make my homemade seed compost. We've moved the mower that used to run the trommel, and we've put the manure runoff. That's now full with a reasonable concentrate. So now I've got a better setup, because before I used to put them into these cans thinking, wow, I've got 10 litres. Wow, I've got 220 litres now. So a lot of this is from the compost bin runoff, and we'll just spread that onto all the wood chip paths when I've got them all renewed, and that'll help with the composting process. Another job for October, need to get these pots sorted. All these are clean, so they just need sorting and stacking. I sorted out everything that I wanted, the ones that I had given me, and the rest went to other plot holders who gladly help themselves to them. I've got 4 pots of potatoes there in the 56-litre cloth bags. I'm going to be doing a reveal of one of those, and I just need to make sure I get this tidy and get the rest of the leaf mold out, so that it doesn't rot that wood any more than what it will do. I'm slowly using this compost that's got the perlite in from the cannabis growers that they unscrupulously tip on some of the beds. Cracking stuff. It's well worth picking it up, but remember, if you find anything tipped on the side of the road, if you pick it up, you take ownership, and if you put it back down, you could be done for fly tipping. And it's the same with the rhubarb. We won't be touching that. I don't harvest mine after the last day in July anyway, so that I can get 1 or 2 good sticks for the shows. This will now die back naturally, and once everything's died back and all those brown leaves have come away from the crown, we'll just tidy it up. We'll add some manure, and I'm going to add some fresh wood chips on half of these to see if it makes any difference with the growth. The autumn fruiting raspberries are almost over. We're still getting a little bit, and excuse me, we'll let these die back, and we normally cut these down to about 6 inches, 100 mil, around about there. You can see where we've cut them off before. They tend to rot and they just snap off the following year. So we'll cut these down around about Christmas time, New Year, and then it'll start throwing out all the new growth. and I've got to get the paths done. This is a path, but the strawberries love to be to run off and plant themselves into wood chips. Going back to hashtag starting a new allotment, on the second video we built the fence, and I thought, yeah, we'll get the fence in, get the wire down, put that on, but the weeds grow behind the netting. So one of the jobs for this month is to cut the netting away, so it's to about there, and then we can top up with wood chips, and I'll pull all these weeds out that are struggling, and we should be able to top these paths up with some nice fresh wood chips. And as your blackberries start to throw out the new runners, don't leave them too long before you just gently pull and tie them in, and that way you won't have any snap off. I made a wonderful job of this, but I didn't leave a gap here, so as they expand and contract with the heat and the cold, they belly out, but I'm going to have to live with it. How many months is it since we said we were going to replace the gate? Just haven't had time. But the pallet's there waiting, and if you want to see how I do my gates, then go into my playlists and the first video, how to build a gate. Pruning in here, again, we'll just snip down to the summer fruiting raspberries. And as you can see, some of these now have grown again, and they just need tying in. We'll let it back down. It's October the 1st today. You won't see this video for a few more days. The weather forecast here in the UK, in the Midlands, we've had a weather warning for heavy rain, so I'm doing it now. These are the bushes that we took from little seedlings from under a bush. And these are the white currants that we took from stems, cut them off 8 inches or so and pushed them into the ground. I'll leave that one, it might come back this year, I never know. And just here I've planted some of the berries, the white currant berries, in the ground. I've got a few seed, but not as many as I'd first anticipated, and one of my fellow creators and regular commenters wants a few of those. But it's like a jungle in here, but I'm hoping to use those blue straps to help in here. We'll see if we can get that sorted once we can see what we're doing when they've all been pruned back. The wood chips that we took out the paths that we haven't sieved, they'll go along here. Then we'll change to a ericaceous compost around the blueberries, and obviously we need to have a good weed. It's always nice to have new wood chips and then old wood chips. It's a nice comparison. And we must keep harvesting. The longer we leave it, the more plants go to seed, and I am very pleased with the way the vertical garden's gone, and I've had a request to talk about the vertical gardening, what's good and bad. I have spoke a little bit about it, but I'm going to do it more in depth. That's what happens if you forget to water even though it's rained. The rain can't get at it. The buckets are held in with those straps. So we've got a nice bag there, a selection of the lettuce that we've got, a little bit of chard, and the bull's blood beetroot, which you harvest them as a leaf crop. That's the second sowing. Done really well, really well. Must get some spring onions out at some stage. And again, we've had a radish there that we've missed gone to seed. And of course this month we need to get tidied up everything that's not doing well. This is a celery that was in these buckets, and I think you could actually knock a nail in with them. Toothpicks, not the word. It's getting the strands out between your teeth when you get them in there. So those will be composted. That didn't work. We've got lots of Swedes. We've already got one at home, so I won't be harvesting one today, but this bed will stay here all winter and we'll keep harvesting as we go. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you collect all those seeds as they dry out. I've done mine now, and you can see some of the pods are on the floor, but this is what you're looking for. You want to be taking that instead of that, but I've got plenty now, don't need any more. I need to clear this bed, get all the canes out, get them inside, get them drying out so they last a lot longer. These are the blue lakes. I'm not saving any cobras because I know what the seeds look like, but I've got plenty of those seeds, and I want to try and save some of Bill and Val's pongo beans. I've got plenty of seed, but it's always best to keep getting fresh. So when we clear this, we'll be leaving those because they still haven't actually dried out yet. Keeping on top of the kale, removing any lower leaves that are just going off, and you can see there while I've been harvesting, it's just to encourage the plant, just get rid of the leaves at the bottom up to where that's half decent, and it just stands a better chance. Now for some reason that's the purple sprouting that we'll harvest February, March in here, and the let's get this Nero di Tosco kale. So that's how big it is in here. There's one of the purple sprouting, and this is what it's like in here. I'm just lifting the net up. The net is there to stop the pigeons landing on top and devouring them, but look at the size of those and the purple sprouting. So all the beds have been done the same, but for some reason this bed's done better than others, so I've got to be patient and let them settle down. And we'll need to take some of these. Well, this red cabbage, it's slightly blown with the weather, it done halfway something, so I've taken that one. That one can stay a bit longer. Some of these haven't fully formed, but while they're sat there in good condition, pick them fresh when we need them. Now these are the parsnips. Sun's playing havoc, and I've just pulled this one out. Again on the larger size, but that doesn't look absolutely straight, so something's gone on with that one. It may be as the taproot, as it broke off, it just started to bend a bit, but that's another nice parsnip. I pick one every 2 weeks. This bed should last me until these parsnips are ready to pick this time next year, and I've already got some sown. I need to change the plastic on that. And as we move down to the carrots, we know we got motley dwarf virus spread by the carrot willow aphid. So these carrots here weren't brilliant. These are better, flattened a bit with the rain, but overall not bad. The smaller carrots is where there's 2 in each station. These were single stations, so it pays to spread them out. So the carrots are split because of either the carrot motley dwarf virus or it's had too much moisture, and there's a few signs there of the carrot fly, so even 4 pallets high aren't quite enough. But again, lots of carrots to last me throughout the winter. We'll be mulching them. So this is my permanent bed. These are the white variety that we found, and all I'm doing is scratching down and getting a few. These are the pink fir apple from Steve's Allotment. Pop over and see Steve. These are the purple variety. I've not grown big spuds like that for years. Yeah, we've got a split in here, but it'll make a nice baking spud because I've grown them in the ground. Those purple varieties were also found on hashtag starting a new allotment. These are the kestrels from a fellow plot holder who's left now. That was Gary. And then we've got the Picasso from Alan from the Dawn Chorus plot. Again, I may grow more of these. Again, they're going a bit, few splits in them. And there's my sarpomeras that I grew from the little tomato seed pots that grow on top. And the idea of the plastic is to stop any more moisture getting through so that they don't go rotten. Beetroot. Yeah, that's a beetroot. One of the giants. Again, I was under my personal best. And hopefully, by the time you watch this video, I should know where I came in the long beetroot, and that measured 4.81 meters, so not far off 5, but the world record was broken. Now the world record stands around 9 meters. So this is the cabbage I took to the venue. It measured just over 8 kilos and the world record was broken, and now the world record is just under 32 kilos. Absolutely amazing, and well done to that gentleman. During October we keep an eye on all the onions. This one's going slightly soft. It was deformed. I put it at the top so it gets used first, and we can take that one away, but keep an eye on all your onions. There's the variegated onion. I'm going to plant that in November. But again, just going to keep an eye on all these actual eating onions and the ones that we're going to put by for seed. I want to try and get the rocket stove built this month. It won't take me long, and then it'll be going off, and then we can save you buying gas. I can then just use bits of pallet that we get, as you can see there. All the beans that we got out. The brood balls are doing fine. Other beds now are being tidied up and prepared ready, and we've got to use this pond liner that we got from a friend to line the end of the guttering. Got all the guttering over there at the minute, it's in the way, so I need to line that, then I can put all the guttering back in and we'll be ready for next year. And we've also taken the tomatoes in the now very open polytunnel. Nice courgette, not bad at all for this time of the year. Some of my very nice medium peppers that I call them. The Joe Long chilies, they're a bit warm, but we're managing, we're keeping on top. Looking after those strawberry plants that a fellow plot holder passed to me. And we still got bits and bobs growing in here, even though we've had a couple of good frosts. Did a bit of a swap. Somebody wants a few of my Jerusalem artichokes, and he said, what would you like? He gave me a list, and I said, I'll have some of this Mocking 14 comfrey. And they were only little stalks, planted them all, and they were just roots, guys, they were just roots. So that's what happens if you're not careful with comfrey. It could spread all over the place, even though the seeds are, they won't actually seed. The roots will though, so always be careful if you're moving it. This is one of the barrels. This is going to be the ones that are on the siphoning method. So obviously when the hose pipe's in, I need to be able to put it on with the hose pipe in. And anybody that watches my DIY videos, this was my old tap, the one that you can actually swirl around the sink, and it was only Babette that said, oh, you could use that to stop the hose pipe kinking. So we'll put the hose pipe through, see how it goes. But that's going to be one of my ideas, to wrap the hose pipe with wire to stop it from kinking. But that's a start. And there's the harvest of the all the kale. This is the guttering off the polytunnel. that collected the water. I need to decide what I'm doing with that, clean it up or just get rid. And I need definitely to strip this down, get all the good screws out of this. I did the actual entrance and got all those screws and hinges and bits and bobs, so it's always well worth keeping. But the previous plot holder had the notion to use good decking screws that are easy to remove. So this is the shed extension, and we've cut the holly bush back there but not here, so all this needs cutting back so that the sheets that were surrounding the old shed I can use along here, because they're liable to get wet and start warping. Saving the radish seed, that's from, not as I previously said, icicle. They're the sparkler radish. Excuse me, but you can see they're not, you probably can't see, but they are, they did grow quite big, and they're producing quite a bit of seed, viable seed hopefully, but we'll let these dry out properly. So if you've enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing and hit the notification button so that you can actually get regular updates of what I'm posting, and hit the like, dislike button for the interaction, and always leave me a comment. I do enjoy the comments because that's where I learn, and I've learnt more from the comments than watching other people's videos. Till next time, my friends, ta-ra for now.